I used to play congas on Venice Beach. Used to fool around a lot. And that influence, right on the beach, on Sundays being big jams, playing congas all afternoon, right on the beach. Venice to me was a beautiful experience. Plus, I surfed for 27 years. Plus the music, surfing, I was with nature. I was at the top of my line. And I got to surf every other day for 27 years. I was very fortunate also that I had lived in Hawaii. I lived at Waimea Bay, and I lived at Sunset Beach, Bonsai Pipeline, and Mexico. I surfed in Mexico. I loved it. God blessed me.
Yeah.
So I try to pass everything on to you. I've seen what people have to do to survive.
This is where I grew up here, where did all my violin practicing and getting into trouble. When I was 6 or 7, I was playing baseball in the front yard here and knocked a baseball right through the window and knocked over my parents' TV. But yeah, a lot of memories here. Over here, if you can see, I used to play so many like street football games on here, like tackle, scrape your knee football, and yeah, still looks the same. I just want to say, thank you for playing such good music and making the sacrifices. You don't always see it. I don't always see it when I was younger, because you're young, you don't see everything. But now that I'm older, I see that you did work hard and you really sacrificed to help me, and I just appreciate everything. Just want to, a big influence on me. So thank you, Dad.
Well, you've come across real good. Yeah? I pray every day to God, and He's in your corner. So we got to get you started.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in the background, really knowing music more than me. I just knew the stars, and the jazz stars. But I was very fortunate, and you picked it up. And I was you got tired there. 5 years old is a young age to really get pushed into it. It's never learning to quit. Just one way or another, find a new niche. Turn around and go to the next corner, and start there again.
That's exactly what. Yeah, that's exactly what. That's interesting that you say that, because it's exactly what you're explaining that you wanted to pass on. Is exactly how I've made it in music was, or getting there. I haven't made it or anything, but how I'm making it is that, yeah, if someone closed one door on me, I just want to open another door.
God always was with me.
Yeah.
And I hope to God that you continue your success. Always be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
No matter how old you get, people just love you more. The most important thing is you got God in your life too.
Yep.
And you're not going to take money for a cheap excuse, or take money because you want to be financially successful. That's not what it's about. Because you're going to come one time and you're going to pass that gift to somebody else. And when you start passing that gift to somebody else, what you're doing, you're going to be successful. Because you know what it is to be patient. Patience is a virtue of life. And if you can gain that beautiful gift, then you're on your way.
I remember distinctly my dad listening to Bright Lights, Big City by Jimmy Reed. That was his big song that he liked the most. Albert King, he loved Muddy Waters, so we would just play these cassette tapes all night. And then later on it was Stevie Ray Vaughan. And that really inspired me too, because Stevie Ray Vaughan's one of my musical heroes.
Yeah, you're the first person that told me to jam, and from that little seed, I don't think you realized that it was going to grow.
My dad is probably my biggest musical influence. I remember growing up and listening to everything. He taught me good country, first of all. Patsy Cline, Merle Haggard, Conway Twitty. He also played great jazz. He played acts like Eddie Harris, Lena Horne, Miles Davis, John Coltrane. So I was growing up with this really young. I remember he'd play them all night. It would drive me absolutely crazy. I just wanted to go to sleep, or I didn't want to hear that type of music. But what my dad was doing was he was setting a musical foundation for me later in life, so I could interpret all that in my own way. He didn't even know it, but that's what happened.
How did you get into jazz? Because that passed on to me, and curious.
I knew a lot of the African Americans. I was running track out down there in junior high school. And I listened to some of their music, which just became jazz, and Marion McKeeba from Africa, Lena Horne, which I met.
You met Lena Horne?
I met Lena Horne. So I used to go to the lighthouse down in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah.
And I used to go for about 5 to 10 years every week. So I got to meet all the jazz musicians. I was very fortunate, and I fell in love with the jazz music and their tradition of jazz music. I got to meet everybody, and it's been imprinted in me all my life. In Los Angeles, I used to go to the Philharmonic practices in downtown LA at the big Philharmonic concert hall. I used to watch them practice all the time. Violin to me was a very important instrument. I loved it. Thinking and knowing what that instrument does, okay? I always wanted to have somebody play. And at that time, you became the person to get the first violin I had a chance to get, and you started to get that violin. I did a job for someone working with the city of Fresno in the electrical field, and I traded work for a violin, brand new violin. That's where you started, 5 years old.
And playing an orchestra, I loved it. That was the thing that was hurtful, is because I really love the orchestra.
Of the Jewish tradition, which is violin.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. And I found a passion for it. So I felt a little betrayed when it was just part of my growth, and I wanted the others to understand that I've got more for me, and it felt hurt that they didn't want to support me because I totally loved what they had to offer me.
You were ahead of the game, Henry. But at the same time, you were getting the best of the game by introduced and being trained Philharmonic-wise.
Yeah, that's why I always appreciate it.
And what made it so good is that you learned to read that music and write it. That was the most important thing. I said, he's on his way. And you got tired of it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to quit.
Yeah.
You got really burnt out. So I even told you, take a break.
Yeah.
Take 2 years off. But you didn't. You went into the garage.
Yeah.
And you started working out in there.
Hours and hours.
Hours and hours and hours. And what is so good is that you learned to appreciate and learn to read it, write it, compose, do everything. And that even surprised me. So you kind of blended into your own way of writing and playing. God has a plan, and it's working beautiful for you right now. Just do what you do and keep doing it with respect. And honor everybody that played music, even if they're not as good or whatever, respect them. Because one way or another, they're going to pass something up to you when you like it. And that's the way it is.
That's very wise, then.
Yeah, you know. So, I'm happy, and I hope that you continue and be where you want to be. And don't stop teaching. You're a teacher, and you're going to have these kids one day that you're teaching. You're going to give them something better that they're going to spend. And when they get older, they're going to be able to do what you're doing, passing it on in a beautiful way, with respect. That's what's important.
That was great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, thank you.